As Russia grinds against Ukraine through its fourth bloody year, President Vladimir Putin has emerged once again as a man keen to play the statesman, the strategist, the saboteur, often in the same sentence. In a state-sanctioned documentary marking 25 years in power, he said, "There has been no need to use nuclear weapons, and I hope they will not be required." That was released today. A calming statement on the surface, but as with all things Putin, the subtext is where the story lives. In November 2024, Putin quietly revised the nuclear doctrine in Russia, and the updated version now permits the use of nuclear weapons not only in response to nuclear threats, but to conventional attacks if they are considered existential, particularly those backed by a nuclear-armed adversary. Let's be plain, this is deliberate ambiguity, and ambiguity in nuclear doctrine is no accident. It is a sword of Damocles designed to make every Western military planner hesitate. Putin says there's no need to use nuclear weapons yet. But that emphasis is not on peace, it's on conditionality. He claims Russia has the strength and the means to bring the conflict to a logical conclusion. In Putin's lexicon, logic is often a euphemism for force. Putin's other rhetorical trick this week is the humanitarian ceasefire, 3 days from May the 8th to May the 10th, marking the defeat of Nazi Germany, a holiday which under Putin has morphed from solemn commemoration into geopolitical pageantry. But Ukraine and the West smell a trap. This ceasefire is not a peace overture. It is, as Zelensky rightly observes, an attempt to project moral superiority. To borrow a phrase from a different war, it's less peace in our time than PR in wartime. And just last month, Russia pulled the same stunt for Easter, announcing a 30-hour pause, then shelling civilian infrastructure before the ink was dry. President Zelensky has called for a full 30-day ceasefire, echoing proposals from the Trump administration. Yes, Donald Trump, whose statements lately have taken a curiously hawkish tone. Trump, in a rare burst of clarity, wrote, "Maybe Putin doesn't want to stop the war. Maybe he's just tagging me along." Indeed. Russia refused the proposed 30-day ceasefire. Why? Because a short ceasefire allows Moscow to pose as peacemaker while regrouping and rearming behind its curtain. While Putin discusses inevitable reconciliation, Kyiv smoulders. Just this weekend, Russia launched 165 drones. 11 people were wounded in the capital. 2 children among them. 2 others were killed in the Sumy and Dnipropetrovsk regions by Russian-guided bombs. This is the context in which Russia speaks of peace. Putin speaks of diplomacy with one hand while launching drones with the other. He claims Russia was deceived in the West, in the Minsk agreements, as though Ukraine, a sovereign nation, were a prop in a morality play between great powers. In Putin's view, Ukraine is not a country, it's a zone of influence gone rogue. He openly states that annexing Crimea in 2014 was necessary, and that in 2022 the special military operation was designed to protect Russians from the collective West, and yet he claims reconciliation is inevitable. How? It's a chilling contradiction, because if peace is inevitable, but only after Ukraine is dismembered, pacified, and absorbed into a Russian sphere, then peace is not peace, it's conquest by attrition. Putin's recent statements are less about calming tensions and more about calibrating them. His rhetoric is a metronome for Western indecision, testing how far he can go without provoking a unified response. The question is not whether Putin will use nuclear weapons, it's whether we continue to allow the threat of them to determine the pace and the shape of diplomacy, deterrence, and defense. We shouldn't be lulled by the language of logic when spoken by a man who has set the world ablaze in pursuit of a rewritten map. We shouldn't be lulled at all. We should be determined and fierce, and we should be clear in our opposition to this evil.